So we are now going ahead with chapter number 4.3, that is called as internal audit. 4 charts wraps up 18 questions for us. Okay. So let's do it one by one. Let's start. Question number 1 is meaning. What is the meaning of internal audit? Very simple. Sir, the internal auditor provides assurance and consulting in order to evaluate and improve 3 things, that is governance, risk management, and internal controls. So he does that. Simple. That is basically the definition. Question number 2. Sir, what is the objective and scope of internal audit? Very, very simple. So the internal auditor in relation to governance, he will check VPAC. VPAC is here. If you are not able to see, VPAC was here. Let's start. That is values, ethics, performance management, accountability, and communication of controls and risk. Okay, that is what we see. And this communication of controls and risk will come like this. It will come from the C and R will come from the C, communicating control and risk. Next is, sir, we are looking at the risk management. In risk management, the first step is to first know which risk is there. So identify the risk, then evaluate the risk, then see how to improve the risk management and do fraud detection. Where all chance of fraud can occur. Next is regarding internal controls. What do we check? We check first account related, factory related, law related. Account related, we check financial and operating information. Factory related, we check operating activities, and law related, we check review law, regulation, policies. Let's start with that one by one. Please look at the screen. Regarding account, what are we worried about? Sir, we check in relation to whether the transactions are identified properly, how you identify journal entry, whether you have how do you identify invoice after raising the invoice, how do you recognize by passing journal entries with the right value, that is measurement. You then classify properly whether it is revenue or capital. So based on that, you understand whether it will go in the balance sheet or P&L. And last but not the least is report all the areas properly. Simple. Next is you do this, and so the entity must have done that, and the internal auditor will ask questions, do specific inquiry, and detailed testing of transaction, account balance, and procedures. Internal auditor, remember, is never bothered about disclosures. Disclosure, who is worried about? Statutory auditor. Internal auditor is worried about how the work is going on. That is called procedures. Are you there with me, yes or no? Let's go further. Regarding factory, what are we concerned with? First of all, factory should produce good quality material. That is effectiveness. Factory, the work should get on time. That is called efficiency. Factory, the work should happen within the budget made. That is called economy. We are checking the effectiveness, efficiency, economy of operating activities, including non-financial activities. Any activity which doesn't come in the books, still, even those are happening properly or not. Example, workers keeping the factory floor clean so that the work can happen properly. Never a journal entry will be made about that. But does it affect the operations? The answer is yes. Non-financial activities. Are you there? Next is, we are checking the law. Regarding law, we had done this if you remember in the class. Countries' laws, industries' regulations, companies' policies. So that is called review the law, regulation, policies. That is basically we have review the law, regulation, policies. Easy to understand this area. That is how we completed question number 2. Question number 3 now. Question number 3 is where this year. Ways to make the use of the internal audit function by the external auditor. How will the auditor make use of it? Very simple. Obtain the relevant information using the work of internal auditor for partial substitution of audit evidence. If he has done good work, I can see whether he has done good work or not, and I will not do the work. I will use his work so that I can go further ahead in my to reach the R level. That is called partial substitution. Or third, you know very well, to appoint internal auditor in my team and ask him to do work as per my instruction. That is called as direct assistance. So this is use internal auditor to perform all procedures under the direction, supervision, review of the external auditor. That is called direct assistance. Easy. Question number 3 was this. Question number 4, very simple. One line. Internal auditor, if I'm relying on him and if something goes wrong, I cannot tell, oh, he did wrong work. Still, the external auditor will have sole responsibility. That is basically what we did here. Question number 4. Easy. So first 4 questions are covered in chart number 1. We move on to chart number 2. This is question number 5 to question number 11. Let's go for it. First question number 5. Overall question, that is evaluating the internal audit function. It is called USCO. We'll check organ status, objectivity, systematic and disciplined approach, and co-is competence. This is what we are checking. In organ status, what are we checking? We'll check the internal auditor's capacity, how much he can handle the work. Is it a proprietorship firm? Is it a partnership firm? Is it a firm having lots of experience? That is what we are looking at. We are looking at the organizational status. Objectivity basically means we are looking at unbiased approaches there or not. For that, if you remember, we had a code called FICR. FICR was in relation to free from bias, whether it is employee or not, conflicting responsibilities are there or not, and constraints or restrictions we had seen. Next we had done was in relation to whether there is a systematic and disciplined approach or not. In that we did a code called Dr. Voca. I remember or no? DS, whether the internal auditor has maintained documents and reporting properly, whether risk assessment coverage is done properly, whether he has a properly set schedule, that is work program, neatly the work is done, and finally, whether quality control policies are there in place in his firm. SQC1 is there in his firm or not. If SQC1 is there in his firm, I'll be more relaxed. If not there, I'll be, or there but not applied properly, then I'll be worried. Are you there with me, yes or no? Next. Very good point. Competence of the internal auditor. Very nice point. In that we saw, I think we had done a code called APAC in your role. It's correct, no? In that we saw appropriately resourced or not, whether proper team members are being appointed in his team. Who are we? Who is the entity appointing as internal auditor? Does the entity have a policy for hiring, training, assigning internal audit function? That is policy for hiring, training, assigning internal audit function. Whether internal auditor has adequate technical training regarding the field of the entity's work. The internal auditor has knowledge of FRF and AFRF. Not necessarily that internal auditor will have knowledge of the accountancy. May not have the knowledge, may be very good in his technical field. Let's say in engineering is very good, but may not have the knowledge of FRF and AFRF. So I'm checking that. A, okay. A is appropriately resourced. P is policy. A is adequate technical training. K is knowledge. APEC. Okay. Let's go to the next area. If usko, this is our question number, by the way, organized status was, sorry, objectivity was question number 6, systematic discipline approach question number 7, competence question number 8. Then if usko factors are not there, then the work of internal auditor cannot be used. This is question number 9. So you have to just write the usko factors but in negative. If you have read the notes, you will understand. You have to just write it in negative. Question number 10. If USCO factors are there, my dear student, then in that case, we did a code called STOIC. STOIC was internal auditors work can help me in what? It can help me in substantive procedures, test of controls, observation of the inventory counts, information system transaction, whether they are there in place or not. And C is finally compliance with the regulatory requirements. To be very honest, no, you can write any point in this case. Because they have asked for examples, you can write any point. But I always keep telling, stick to the module language for getting good marks. Okay. Because sometimes you can get a crazy examiner who is looking at only the module answer and just checking whether you've written the points or not. So he's not understanding that in the question, examples have been asked. Okay. Next one. Circumstances where external auditor shall use less work of internal auditor and perform more work directly. This we had done a code called JROC, if you remember. Judgment involved is is a lot. Judgment involved matters a lot. Opinion of the auditor matters a lot. In that case, external auditor should take up more work. Next, RMM is high. RMM is high. Next, objectivity and organized status is low. Or last point is competence is low. In this case, we will do more work as external auditor, rely less on the internal auditor. Easy. Question number 11 is done. Let's go to question number 12 to 15. Let's crack it up. Look here, see. What is the objective of the external auditor where entity has internal audit function? Very simple. We look at the work of the internal auditor, whether work of internal auditor is adequate or not. We look at whether the internal auditor has provided direct assistance. Internal auditor can be taken as a direct assistant or not. In direct assistance, we are looking at whether we'll be able to um, give him direction, supervision, review so that he can work for us. We'll check that area. This in question number 12 is point number 1. This is point number 2. Point number 3 is what? Very simple. You have to just write a combination, or you can write this. Point number 1 is this combination. Point number 2 is this. So, and point number 3 is this. That is how the 3 points have been given in your notes. Okay. Question number 13. Very nice. If external auditor plans to use the work of the internal auditor, how will you use the work? Okay, very simple. First, the external auditor has to read the internal auditor's report. Second, he has to, with his mouth, discuss with the internal auditor. Third, he has to perform sufficient audit procedures. He has to perform. Exactly, that is the 3 point that you will see. Question number 14. Very simple. Sir, the when we are having discussion with the internal auditor, what matters will be addressed? We did a code called NT Dr. Mame. Nature of the work done, timing of the work done, extent of the work done. D was documentation and R was review procedures. What kind of review he has done? Mame was materiality and methods of sampling. Methods of sampling. What kind of sampling methods has he used? Easy. Question number 15, very, very simple. Look at the screen. So external auditor is here, internal auditor is here. First, for coordination, they should have a discussion with each other. Discussion should be there. Second, very simple. We will give our reports, they will give their reports. So first is we will give our reports, inform significant matters. They will give their relevant report and inform significant matters to us. That is basically how it flows. Very, very simple understanding. It's easy. This is your question number 15. Question number 16, 17, 18. I'm telling you again, in the exam, if you see direct assistance in the examination, mostly they'll be asking question from 16, 17, 18 only. Be careful here. Sir, when will the external auditor take the internal auditor from the management as a direct assistant? When competence and objectivity is there and it is not going against any law and regulation, then we can take it up. This small area is question number 16 for us, small area. 17, I feel, is an extremely important one. Very good question. See this. Prior to using the work of the internal auditor and direct assistants, what should the external auditor do? First, I will go to the management and tell the management, see, I want a written representation from you that the instruction of external auditor will be followed by the internal auditor. And second, when I give instruction to the internal auditor, management, you please don't intervene, don't interfere. So management shall not intervene regarding these two matters. Management shall give me the written representation. I'll go to the internal auditor and tell him, see, when you are working for me, we'll be coming across a lot of secrets about the client or a lot of things that we are planning to do the audit work properly. Don't reveal this information. So you understand here that is called written agreement from the internal auditor to keep the matters under direct assistance. Confidential. Confidential. Are you there with me? Yes or no? Last but not the least, internal auditors, see what they're given. Direct assistance shall not be used to perform JRID was a code where judgment involved is more, RMM is more. This we had seen earlier. Where internal auditor is already involved with the management for doing the work. And finally, decisions regarding the direct assistance of the internal auditor, whatever internal auditor will do, when he will do, when the checking will be done, all these things we are not going to take his advice. We'll do give the work as per what we feel. Are you there with me? Yes or no? Simple. That is basically your question number 18. That completes your chapter number 4.3. That is internal audit.